Okay, so let's jump into this. We've been looking at sources covering what are probably the two biggest names in the Arch Linux space right now.
Yep. Garuda Linux and EndeavourOS.
Exactly. And the mission for this deep dive is to figure out what they really deliver and, maybe more importantly, what they demand from you as the user.
Well, what's so interesting here is that we're not really debating raw capability.
Oh, that's the point.
Yeah, they're both built on Arch. They have the exact same software available. It's a philosophical split. It's polish versus purity.
Polish versus purity. I like that. So one looks like a gaming rig exploded into a desktop?
Right, that's Garuda. And EndeavourOS is basically Arch stripped down to its bare bones.
So on one hand, you have Garuda, which is Arch with a lot of opinions, visuals, pre-configurations.
And on the other, you have EndeavourOS, which is Arch with convenience, just a simple installer to get you started, and then maximum control.
And that aesthetic choice that seems to have an immediate impact on your hardware.
A huge one. I mean, Garuda arrives dressed for a cyberpunk convention. The sources really highlight its KDE desktop. You've got the blur effects, the neon. It's a lot.
It sounds incredibly slick, but also heavy.
It is. And EndeavourOS is just the polar opposite. It's minimal, it's clean. They give you those training wheels with the installer, but then you get a totally clean slate.
Okay, so let's talk about the resource cost, because that's where the rubber meets the road.
And the difference is, well, it's stark. EndeavourOS, with a lightweight desktop, it'll idle around 500 megabytes of RAM.
500 megs.
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
But Garuda, with all those visuals and background optimizations, you're looking at 3 to 4 gigabytes.
Wait, gigabytes at idle.
At idle, yeah.
So if you have, say, a standard laptop with 4 gigs of RAM, EndeavourOS is fine, but Garuda is basically unusable.
Exactly. It's a massive trade-off where the look and feel actually limits what hardware you can even use.
Okay, so that's the look. What about system safety? I mean, these are rolling release distros. Things can break.
They can. And again, a totally different approach to protecting the user.
How so?
Garuda gives you a kind of digital seatbelt right out of the box. It uses automatic BTRS snapshots with a tool called Snapper.
BTRS, that's the modern file system.
Right. And Snapper automatically creates these backup points. So if an update breaks everything, you can just reboot and roll back to a snapshot from, 5 minutes ago.
So it's enforced automatic safety. I'm guessing EndeavourOS is the opposite.
You got it. Endeavour lets you choose your file system, but it leaves all that snapshot configuration, all of it, completely up to you.
It trusts you.
It trusts the user to know what they're doing, and that same philosophy, it carries right over to performance, especially for gaming.
Ah, right. Garuda pushes the gaming angle hard. It comes with the Zen kernel, ZRAM,
Yeah.
all these tools pre-installed.
Yes, promising immediate optimization. But here's where the analysis gets really critical. The benchmarks. They show that performance gains from something like the Zen kernel are often pretty marginal.
Marginal.
Sometimes, yeah. The main takeaway from the sources is that you can install the exact same kernel, the exact same tools, on EndeavourOS in like 10 minutes.
So the difference is in capability.
Not at all. It's about whether you want it configured for you or if you want to configure it yourself.
So this all boils down to the cost of entry, really, not speed or software.
Precisely. EndeavourOS is for developers, power users, people who want minimal overhead and absolute control from the get-go.
Whereas Garuda provides that immediate, polished, beautiful experience for someone who just wants to get going and doesn't mind the resource cost.
Yeah, that's the perfect summary.
We've seen that the biggest distinction isn't really performance or even stability, but this philosophy of trust automatic safety versus user control. And that leaves an important question for you to think about. When you're tackling something complex like managing an operating system, how often does the convenience of that pre-configured polish actually save you more time than the simple freedom of a stripped-down, pure starting point?